Okay, it's been a while since I sat down and did another episode of State of the League. But that's because we've been working really hard behind the scenes to pull off a gigantic inaugural Premier Lacrosse League season coming this June 1st in Boston at Gillette Stadium, which, by the way, tickets are on sale. But what we're going to talk about in this episode is everything we've done to get to this moment right here, which includes moving into this new office here in LA and a few other things. Welcome to State of the League, episode 4. Okay, let's talk about the fabric of team sports competition. You have to have teams comprised of the best players in the world, but before we unveiled which players were playing on which teams, we needed to know the team names. And we put an extensive process in place to build brand identities, design the identities, and essentially roll out lacrosse clubs versus a traditional city-based model. We kicked off that process with an agency in New York City called We Are Bill. We interviewed them and captured the entire process so you guys could view it and understand the impetus behind each of our lacrosse clubs. And we dropped that video on our YouTube channel. Here's a quick look.
Underneath that master brand, you have sub-brands. They all had to talk, speak the same language, be a part of a consistent system, have a similar aesthetic, design aesthetic, vision, communication language. And so it's kind of an exciting problem to solve of how do we create this master brand that's this house that houses all of these other brands, each with their own strong point of view.
Okay, that was step 1, identities of teams. Step 2, who's playing on which team. And if you've been following us since October, thank you very much. You know that we have a pretty meticulous rollout strategy around each of our announcements, and there have been a lot of them. And we give them to endemic media outlets like Inside Lacrosse and US Lacrosse and the Lacrosse Network, Lax All-Stars, and then we go even beyond lacrosse, where a group like Sports Illustrated rolled out those team identities. But when it came to the players, in a sport that's built by the players, for the fans, when we announced which players were playing on which team, we decided to give the players the exclusive. And what that meant is our media team internally worked hand in hand with our players. They designed their own bitmojis. They sent the bitmojis over to us, and we created a template designed for the team that they were playing on, sent it back to the players. And in a 3-hour window on a Monday morning, all of our players took to Instagram and Twitter exclusively sharing which lacrosse club they were playing for. That was it. Then you, the fans, began to stitch the players on each team. Shortly after, the PLL then rolled out the full team formations. We're constantly challenging ourselves to think critically when it comes to the way we communicate with you. And we look at modern trends, but we also look at the way these algorithms on these social platforms are being ingested. And from our perspective, building the league with our players who have massive followings and a direct connection with each of you, we felt like if they pushed out the content, 1, it was pure and authentic to them, but 2, there would be this viral effect of which we achieved as we approached millions and millions of impressions inside of the first 3 hours, which signaled that pro lacrosse is here, and it's an exciting time to be a part of the PLL. Now, a little bit more on how we think about media. It just doesn't happen overnight. Part of what Mike and I decided to do when we went out and captured our venture capital from our investors was designate a large chunk of that to building a media team. And that's pulled from best practices of the UFC, of World Surf League, and more recently the WWE, of which I had a chance to spend time with Stephanie McMahon and Paul Levesque recently to talk about how they think about media. They actually view themselves as a form of Disney, even though they have a massive live product hosting 400 events a year. We're hosting 14 major weekends, regular season, all-star, playoffs, and championship. Now to the media group. We have a 13-person media team internally consisting of producers, editors, audio engineers, graphic designers, heads of content, VPs of media, coordinating producers. The list goes on. Everyone gets in a think tank daily, and we script out ideas with our players, we script out ideas with the league, with the teams, and with our network partner in NBC. So it's a real effort. And when you talk about sports, whether you're Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, or us at the PLL, we know that we're trading on the live experience and the attention of which we can share our sport across a number of mediums on all different sizes of screens. And let me tell you about one person, RJ Kaminsky. We brought him over recently, and he's a host of now the PLL Vlogs. He's doing 20 questions with players. He's out all over the country working to bring a lot of those core stories to life as he's connected with you all for a long time on the Lacrosse Network. That's one example. And we highlighted him together here in LA.
So if you follow along with TLN
It's
in
not
the
starting great right now.
So we have the PLL vlogs, and we also have player features specifically. Last week we rolled out Island Bred, which is a series focused on a lot of our Long Island superstars and how they found the game and what they're doing now to excel for season 1 of the PLL. We have a number of other features coming soon. We're gonna be covering training camp, which we haven't unveiled where yet, but that's gonna be huge. It's a Hard Knock style type of docu, and a number of other things. So stay tuned to State of the League for more of that. Also, one more person. I don't know if this is gonna focus, but there's Brett.
What's up, guys?
You guys know him, and we're in our studio here shooting this episode of State of the League, number 4.
Gotta make sure we frame this up correctly.
Okay, time out. I'm gonna try to do my best on subsequent episodes of State of the League where we talk about our media team to maybe bring in a media member, because that's exciting to me. Okay, I thought I was gonna finish with media, but one last thing, I'll circle back to how we started this episode, which is we just unlocked tickets. You can now buy your tickets, whether for Saturday, Sunday, or ideally the entire weekend at Gillette Stadium for week 1, June 1st and 2nd in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Everyone in the broader New England area or even further, come in. It's going to be an awesome experience. And then week 2, at Red Bull Arena in New York. Those tickets are probably on sale now as well, depending on when you're watching this. So head over to PremierLacrosseLeague.com to purchase those tickets. We're also building out avenues on our Twitter so you can access our customer service team and even purchase tickets directly from there. So a lot going on. And hopefully you're enjoying it. I'll see you next time.